Welcome back, everyone. Start out. You've been able to join me for part 1 and part 2. I'm going to bemoan the fact that I still don't have a travel spell. And I think I've built every mage guild I can that would have that. So, bummer. But in just a second, I'm going to step up onto the swamp terrain. So we'll start by introducing that. For me, it's kind of in the same realm as the lava theme. It's there. There's some nice stuff. Really strong ambient feel. You got frog sounds and animal sounds in the back. What is interesting is it starts with a bassoon kind of solo, but that solo becomes the accompanimental pattern. And that's just something so common in Heroes 3. There's this equality of musical lines all throughout. So mostly winds and some strings at the end. There are some really nice chords and harmonies, especially at the end. You have a minor major chord with, I think, a major ninth on top of that. And everything pretty much happens within that harmony, so it's nice that they end with that. Just kind of showing the whole frame of the piece. And we do need to talk battle themes today. Unfortunately, this battle's not going to give us much time to talk about those themes. But while we're here, I'll just lay out a few things about them as we hear this stronghold theme. So the battle themes, always percussion-based, usually have pretty heavy string involvement too, both plucked and bowed. So I'm just keeping track of everybody. And a lot of repeated material in the battle themes. But one thing they do to break that up is they keep on adding additional textures and lines. So they stay really interesting to listen to. So like this theme, this percussion line, we're going to have that for the whole piece. Except that it ends. And then you just add another line, another instrument, and do that all the way to the end. But it keeps the excitement going, it keeps a sense of momentum and excitement. So it looks like green's just chilling in their land. Hello. Perfect, just what I want. One chain lightning. That's what I like to see. Maybe we'll get a longer battle theme and we can talk about it more. Just gonna start down here to get the Harpy Hags. They're fast, and I don't want them to use a spell. And now we should get a long battle theme. Maybe, I hope, kind of. See how many things we can add. So here's the percussion. Add the strings. Well, we got to the strings. Hopefully green will have a big army. Here a second. The real question is, will we get to hear any of the marsh theme? We haven't gotten past the ambience once. It's looking like... not today. And we'd have to listen to the whole thing to get to the really nice chord at the end. So I think we're just going to move on to the sand, but you can look up the theme yourself. So for sand, don't like sand. The pieces is fine. Anakin Skywalker reference. So you got plucked and bowed strings and some winds, and again, really clever composition. They took the harmonic minor scale and just used scales degree 5, 6, 7, and 1. So we get this augmented second a lot, and it's a really narrow harmonic frame for the piece, but it works really nicely. And then eventually the brass enters. We step away from the harmonic minor key into a major key, and then a natural minor key, then back to the harmonic. So here's our little major riff, and then the natural minor. And back. I guess I don't need this guy anymore. But we also need to make sure we spend at least a little time on the water, so you can hear that theme in context of the game. So I'll introduce the water theme really quick. Clarinet. Clarinet is just one of those instruments that people really like to use to describe and depict water. Does the job very well. And then there's this ostinato in the horn underneath the clarinet, and some wave ambience on top of that. There's a really nice ellipse of a violin and oboe line in the middle of the water theme. I will take the time so we can hear that, because it's really nice. Probably get to that next turn. I want a slightly longer battle to show how all the battle themes build layers. Okay, well, this doesn't look like a big army. Hopefully it's in their castle. Hopefully they have one. A big army. So here's a new texture with the winds. Done the strings. Ouch! 410 damage from the lightning bolt. Here's some water. Wave themes. Clarinet underneath. And the horn. There's the ellipse, the string hit a note, and then a wind instrument blossoms out of it. Here comes my favorite. Peak of this phrase. It's impressive that they were able to do that with the synthesizers. Mad respect for their control of that sound. So my plan for this fight, use slow on everyone, trap them in the castle, and then use a lot of chain lightning on them. Just lose as few guys as possible. It's a big army. I'll be starting my chain lightnings on those Cyclops keys. But hey, we'll have a chance to talk about additive textures. So here we have the percussion. Enter strings. Now enter the brass. This'll hurt. Good thing it's the last fight. Enter bowed strings. Slowing those behemoths down. Oh, they're so stuck. Enter winds or oboe. We have all the textures we've talked about going on at once. I have a little reset period here where things get changed up. Sorry, Scorpicors. Hopefully just do crazy damage. But hey, we had a battle that was long enough that I got to show or talk about all the textures that were added. And let's go out with a bang, even though it's fine. It's the last battle. Chain lightning, I love chain lightning. There's green, vanquished. So that's just a brief preview of those themes. Me, I'm the winner. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something about each of the pieces that allows you just to appreciate it a little more. Thanks for tuning in. And I will have more projects like this coming out in the future. So leave a comment if there's something you liked, something you didn't like, something you change. And yeah, catch you next time.